Does this ever happen to you? You make a nice cup of coffee, sit down in your comfiest pants. You open up YouTube or Instagram to watch all the new videos that came out today. Then suddenly, you realize it's been about an hour and you haven't done anything productive. And all that motivation that you woke up was completely drained. The responsibilities of the day begin to creep in and cause you anxiety, and eventually you just give up on the day and hope for the next. This happens to me, honestly, probably every day. Even if it's just in the morning and I feel like I already started the day off not well. I'll try to reset it. I'll go for a walk. I'll do some sort of good habit of mine. I'll do the chores, or I'll do the dishes, whatever. I'll try to get my life or my day back on track. I get back to the computer and I make another cup of coffee, just kind of hoping that things will be different this time. And most of the time it's not. So how do you break this cycle? It is a habit after all, right? The problem with a habit is that it can either be progressive or regressive. For example, watching too much YouTube, scrolling on social media can be a bad habit that could stunt your motivation. On the other hand, motivation isn't what you need to get started. It's the feeling of wanting to keep going after already starting. We get mixed up with this all the time, wishing for motivation to help us get going. We just have to start without any buildup. These two things are constantly at battle with each other. This sort of push and pull on your productive side or your attitude towards the day, and trying to develop good habits is extremely hard. It's a long-term game, it's not just something you can change in a couple days or 1 week. It takes months of doing the same thing over and over. That's why it's so hard to see any sort of change in our growth on social media or growth on YouTube, is because these habits that we try to build on YouTube, sometimes they just get broken down. We lose our habits, we lose our routines, we lose our focus, and then most of the time we just end up falling back to square one. I'm reading this book right now, actually called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he actually talks about this sort of mental game that we play during the day, and he talks about how building good habits helps us have better days. He has this chart that he makes, and it's called the decisive moments chart. He says the difference between a good day and a bad day is often a few productive and healthy choices made at decisive moments. Each one is like a fork in the road, and these choices stack up throughout the day and can ultimately lead to a very different outcome. This is my friend AJ. He is a professional dancer. Sometimes he'll send me clips and it's unreal. Just look at this guy. Look how pumped up he is.
Dude, I knew it. Even me, when I was watching myself dance, there's no way I actually just did that. I think.
Okay, back on topic. Why are we talking about habits? Shout out to Ashlyn's mom for getting me these slippers. The reason why I'm talking about habits and I'm really thinking a lot about them right now is because I suck at habits. I'm actually just trying to get better at them. This is kind of me mentally processing what I'm going through. It's not I have a PhD in making habits and psychology. I'm going through this probably the same time as you. I pulled out some things from this book, and also just some things that I've kind of learned myself from trying to grow in my habits and trying to just get better at being productive and get better at living, honestly. That's what it is. So the first habit I would say is be intentional with your time. One of the ones I can think of is to be really intentional about what you're using your devices for. When you go on your computer, why are you going on your computer? Are you going on to surf social media? Are you going on to watch a YouTube video, watch Netflix while you eat dinner or while you eat lunch or breakfast or something? That's okay. That's a compound habit where instead of just washing dishes and then after you're done going to watch Netflix, spend the time while you're washing dishes watching Netflix on your phone. You can spend an hour doing dishes and then another hour, watching TV, or you could just spend 1 hour watching TV and doing dishes. So you're kind of saving yourself time by compounding things. Again, like that intention of like, I will go on the computer with the intention of, oh, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be productive, and then I will go immediately to YouTube. I'm just gonna watch like 4 videos, so I'll open up 4 tabs. And by the time I'm done those 4 tabs, I might go on another YouTube video, or I might just completely forget why I was even on the computer. My whole intention is just like out the window as soon as I get there, and I'm like not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's the same thing with social media. When you go on your phone, are you going on your phone to answer emails? Are you going on your phone to answer a text message? We all have this habit where we open it up, Instagram or Facebook or YouTube right away. We catch ourselves like, wait, what am I doing? What was I supposed to be doing? You can always alleviate that by deleting your Instagram up, or like moving your Instagram to another page, or like taking it off your homepage altogether. And I think even like being intentional with your time can mean like saying no to things. You have a bunch of work to do, or that you want to spend Tuesday afternoon working on a YouTube video. Tuesday afternoon from 12 to 4 or whatever, I'm going to work on this YouTube video. And if someone's like, hey, like, can you come help me out with this project Tuesday afternoon? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying no to that. I think that it's perfectly normal to just say no and be like, hey, I actually have something going on. Like I'm busy with something, because maybe you don't have a lot of time and you only have that Tuesday afternoon to like work on videos. Being intentional with like making time to do something that like will push you towards your goal. The more you do that, the more of a habit it will become, and the more that would be like a time that you value, where you're like, oh, this is my time to like create. This is my time to do something that is not only about making money. It's not all about making views. It's just something that you want to do to express yourself. Secondly is just show up. So this is probably like the most common advice that you get from people, and that's just to like, first step to going to the gym is going to the gym. Great. What does that mean? After reading this book, he had a really good point. He said that it's not actually the gym that's hard. It's the thought of wanting to get the effort to go to the gym. It's that like before you get to the gym, that's the hard part. You forget about that, the fact that it was hard to get there, and then you're just like, you're in your routine. The more you show up, the less effort it feels like. It starts to feel like, okay, that's just, you don't even think twice about it, really. It's the same thing with creating content, guys. Like I've wanted to make YouTube videos for probably the past 6 or 7 years, like legit. I've watched creator after creator like start, be successful, and then I'll have friends start on YouTube and then get successful through it. In the back of my mind, I always wanted to do it, but I was like waiting for motivation and waiting for some inspiration to finally just like do it. It's not just waiting for some magical confidence to come to me. I actually gained confidence through just doing the work, through actually just showing up. I knew how to do it. Like I knew how to light things. I knew how to use a camera. And for some reason, every time I filmed a video, I felt so unconfident. I hated the sound of my voice. I was just like, oh, I just feel terrible about this. And also showing up, even when things go wrong. There's been so many times where I'll finish a video and I'll look back on it and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to record audio. 20 minutes of talking, and it's just all the waste. And like sometimes I would just like sit there in the dark, like just thinking to myself, is this even worth it? I'm like, man, like why am I even here? Like what am I even doing? Like my wife would always encourage me to keep going and just be like, it's okay, just record again, just do it again. I was always like, no, this is stupid. Eventually I would get over that, and I would re-record it, and everything was fine. The second take was sometimes even better. I've even had this happen to me. Oh my, that sucked. Oh great, I don't have a lens now. Is this some sort of bad omen? Like, should I not be doing YouTube? Like, is this bad? I think when you take risks, you're bound to stumble and you're bound to make mistakes because you're not playing it safe. You're taking a risk. The last one is finding time to rest. I have been burnt out probably like 3 times in my life, and it really sucks. And like, you don't want to get burnt out. And I got burnt out because I didn't know how to rest. I didn't know how to like, be intentional with my time. A lot of the times resting is just learning to be bored, laying on the ground, lay on your couch with no music, no TV, no Instagram or phone or anything, and just like stare at the ceiling. Go take a long walk and be out in the world. And you know, when you do stuff like that, when you take a break, ideas will just like naturally come into your head, and you'll be like, oh, that's a cool idea. You'll find that your energy will slowly start to come back, and that you'll be at a place where you're actually excited to do work again. This whole habit thing is like an ongoing process. It's the long game. That's the thing. I know this is a bit of a different video, but I hope that this resonated with some of you. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I love responding to comments. Make sure to subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.